Hi, it's B, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to read a little bit out of this God is My Happy Place. It's 365 daily devotionals for morning and evening. I don't know if I showed this in my other video that I read stuff out of, but I think I got this at Walmart too. I don't remember. Like my sweatshirt, it says Legendaries, Trent Shelton. Kudos to Trent Shelton. He's a motivational speaker. If you don't know him, I suggest you look him up. Legendary. Thank you, Trent. Okay. This is September 30th. So this was today. And what it does is it gives you a page for the morning and the page for the evening. So it says, as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. That was from Genesis 50:20. I don't know if I'm saying the numbers right, so I apologize if I'm not. I'm still new to reading the Bible and saying the numbers and how they go, but I understand the message. Okay, so that's unfair. If you've been around kids for even a few minutes, you have heard this phrase before. We want justice, or what we think is justice, from a very young age. The reality is that there will be harm done to us in life. Life won't be fair. Things won't always go our way. When this happens, we have two choices. We can choose to get loud, get bitter, scream that it's not fair, and push for our rights, or we can grieve the situation, submit it to God, and hold fast to His promise to work all things for good. There are evil schemes plotted against you by the enemy, maybe even through others, but you serve a powerful God who is in control. He will not abandon you, and He will bring justice. He has the power to bring about good and to redeem all things. Whatever the situation is, trust God to fight for you and do the good work today. And then ask a question at the end. What area of your life do you need God to redeem for good? So that was this morning. I love where it asks, when this happens, we have two choices. We can choose to get loud, get bitter, scream that it's not fair, or push for our rights, or we can grieve the situation, submit it to God, and hold fast to His promise to work all things for good. I love that. Don't get bitter, get better. It's so true. Just think about it. You get loud, you get bitter, right? You scream it's not fair, but is it going to change anything? No. That's what I've learned. Just turn it over. Just give it to God, and hold fast to His promise that He, to work all things for good. And usually my experience with it is something I was crying and screaming about ended up being a blessing in disguise anyway. So honestly, I end up winning from the situation. It's all in your perspective and how you look at it, just anyway. All right, so for the evening, which would be now, you intend to harm me, but God intended all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. It's pretty much what it said in the beginning of the other one, but different words. Again, Genesis 50:20. What a mighty God we serve. There is nothing outside of His power to redeem. Consider the story of Joseph. He was betrayed by his brother, sold, kept in prison, accused of rape, and list goes on. But God had a plan the whole time. He did not abandon Joseph or forget about him. God's timing is not our own. Surely Joseph would have preferred to hit fast forward and get out of prison. He had to submit himself to God and His timing, trusting that God had good in mind. Whatever you are waiting for, God has good in mind for you. He will never forget about you or abandon you. You can trust Him. And then it says, God, I trust you to work all things for good in my life. Help me to hold on to your promises. That's so sweet. And here I have underlined, it's God's timing is not our own. God's not a slave to the clock. Like, God doesn't know clock. That's man-made. Time is an illusion. There's no, for someone who's always been very impatient, I want things now, so I've been working on patience, and I had to realize that you could pray, but it's in God's timing. It's not our timing. And some things that we're delayed with are for a reason. You know, there's stumbles. I didn't mean to say stumbles, but there's like roadblocks in the way. There's detours, you know, because God has a different plan for you. And the more you push your will and try to do things, you know, and then wonder why everything goes wrong, that's why, you know, because it wasn't the plan. It's not God's plan for you. So, not everything that seems to be like a mistake or a delay is really a mistake or a delay. Like I said, it's a blessing in disguise to make you go on the right path that God has planned for you. Another thing I underlined was he um he had to submit himself to God in his timing, trusting that God had good in mind. Whatever you are waiting for, God has good in mind for you. He will never forget about you or abandon you. You can trust him. So again, when I get impatient and I'm wondering like why things aren't working out the way that I want them to, that's why. That's exactly why. You know? Because it's not meant to be. I'm not supposed to have it. Or maybe I'm not mature enough to have what I'm asking for, or I'm not ready because I still have to do all the baby steps before that step. See, they're going to talk with my hands? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, gotta laugh. If you're too busy to laugh, you're too busy. So, anyway, I just wanted to read that. I really liked it. You know, it helps me definitely get through my day. I love these books. And patience, pretty much. That's, you know, divine time. It's all in divine time. Patience, patience. My dad used to tell me, right? That the reward for patience is patience. That's funny, right? So when you pray for patience and then the next day or like, you know, later that day, you wonder why you're stuck in traffic, it's because you prayed for patience and now you get to practice it. Because if you're praying for it and you want to gain patience, then you're going to get situations that are going to help you practice patience. See that? Tricky, tricky. Anyway, if you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.